Ever since Snapchat introduced this new Snap Maps feature, you can basically stalk any of your friends' locations. Well, any of your friends who choose to enable it. For some reason, I used to have it enabled. I guess just because I wanted my friends to see that I was busy or something stupid. I'm in 11th grade, a junior in high school. Snapchat is obviously a big thing in high school these days. If you don't have one, your friends will probably ask you why not. Even the weird kids have Snapchats. The really, really weird kids, like the ones sitting alone in the corner of the cafeteria. Maybe that sounds specific because I am being specific. There was this kid named Zach. He'd been a socially awkward outcast since elementary school. No one really knew if he had any real problems or not, and everyone could agree that there was always something about him that seemed a little off-putting and uncomfortable. Apparently, the kid was on Snapchat and somehow got people's Snapchat usernames. My username was apparently one of them, because one cold day in December, I got a message from Snapchat saying, "Zach Meister added you as a friend. I already knew it was him, so I added him back." I don't know why. I guess I'm just too friendly of a person. Minutes after I added him, he sent me a picture and then a video. I didn't want to open it because I knew it would be weird, but I was also curious to see what it was. I waited a few hours to show as much disinterest as possible. I opened it when I was in my bed, and what it was even stranger than I thought. There was a picture of me sitting in the cafeteria at school, but then the video was when the bell rang and everyone in the cafeteria got up, including me, obviously. It zoomed in on me and recorded me leaving the lunchroom. The worst part was the caption at the bottom that said, "Cute Lowell." I ignored it. I was so close to deleting it, but for some reason, I didn't have it in me. That night, as I lay in my bed watching TV and Snapchatting with friends, Zach, aka Zach Meister, sent me a message on Snapchat. Unfortunately, I accidentally clicked on the notification right away, which took me to his message, which said, "You live on Mason Street." I responded, "Yes." He responded right back. I was not going to open his chat this time, though, not for a long time. But the longer I waited, the more he kept messaging me. I was so close to blocking him, it was not even funny. He started sending me pictures now. Pictures I had no intention of opening tonight. I knew the longer I took to respond, the less interested he would be. So I put my phone on the desk, turned off the TV, and went to sleep. When I woke up the next morning, my window was wide open and so was my closet door. I literally muttered to myself, "What the?" I didn't remember opening either of them, but my room was absolutely freezing. I saw a bunch of new notifications from Zach on my phone. Then it hit me. What if that was him? I quickly opened Snapchat and opened Zach's snaps. It started with pictures of a sidewalk last night, then a picture of my house, then a picture of my bedroom window, then a picture of me taken through the window, and a picture of Zach standing in my room, then a picture of me in my bed taken from my closet. That was the last picture. Then I saw his messages. There were so many messages, many of them starting with, "Reply. Why are you taking so long to reply?" Then later he said, "I'm coming to visit you, LOL. You have your Snap card on." Then he said, "I like to watch people sleep." Then he said, "I found you with your Snap Map on. I hope you don't mind. I think you're cute, though." I should mention that I'm a guy, in case you were wondering. The rest of the messages were things like, "Are you up yet? What are you doing?" I didn't care anymore. I screenshotted the chat. Unfortunately, I did not think to screenshot the pictures until it was too late. I blocked Zach's Snapchat account and went to my parents. They were in complete disbelief. My dad mostly took care of trying to contact the police, which turned into a big deal. The police had to investigate, which got the school involved. Apparently, Zach lives, or lived, with his single alcoholic father, which explained a lot. The screenshots of Zach admitting to finding me via Snap Maps served as enough evidence to charge Zach with juvenile trespassing. No one saw Zach at school after that. It was assumed that he and his father had moved far away. I've been using Snapchat for a little over a year, just as a way to share cool or funny things that are going on in my life. You know, in high school, there is always that one weird kid who acts like a psycho. The one who would, quote unquote, prank someone by putting a dead rat in their locker. This kid at my school was named Alex. Alex had done a lot of questionable things and had been suspended several times. He had brown hair that was always in a bowl cut and really pale skin. The vampire vibe. One day, I got a notification on my phone while I was playing a video game. It was from Alex. I didn't remember adding him, but then I thought he must have seen my snap code from my Instagram page or something. It was weird though. I could see his score, which means I did add him at some point. I just can't remember when. I put my phone down until I died in the video game I was playing. I unlocked my phone and opened Alex's snap. It was an extremely zoomed-in picture of a door handle, a locking mechanism to be exact. It was captioned, "Hello." I even took a screenshot of the picture. I was kind of creeped out because I knew this kid was the kind of person who would come to your house and do something really messed up. I texted him back and asked him why he sent me that picture. He replied with another picture. It was a blurry picture through a window looking into a house. My heart sank when I realized it was a picture of our kitchen. I screenshotted this picture as well. I ran right into our kitchen and looked out the window. I saw him on my deck, laughing. I ran around the side to our dining room and opened the door. He was still standing there, but he had his hand behind his back. I told him to get off our deck, but he slowly removed his hand from behind his back. He was holding a knife. I slammed the door and locked it. I yelled through the door that I would call 911 if he didn't leave. He smiled at me and slowly walked off our deck. I ran to make sure all the outside doors were closed and locked. I don't know what he would have done if I hadn't slammed the door, but I hope I never have to find out. This is a short story, but it just started 2 days ago and it has me scared shitless. I tend to get a lot of random people adding me on Snapchat because I have my Snapchat in my Instagram bio. Not to toot my own horn, but I live kind of a lavish lifestyle and show it through my Instagram pictures. One rainy night while I was chilling with my friend, 2 random girls added me to the app. One was named Casey Welsh, and the other was Bree Owens. I unfollowed them both. They both had really low Snap scores, though. Like one had a Snap score of 200, the other had a Snap score of a couple thousand. I was like, okay, that was it. I had to wait and see if they sent me anything. Sure enough, the one named Casey sent me a black screen with a caption, "You're cute." I ignored the message. It seemed like someone was messing with me. I checked the Snap map and saw that both girls were sharing their locations. In fact, they were apparently together in a car not too far from me. Anyway, I had to get home. The weather outside was getting worse and it was getting late. I jumped in my car and got on the highway, driving slowly considering how bad the rain was getting. There weren't many, if any, cars on the road at this point, so a car finally caught up to me in the A lane and stayed behind me for a while. I got off the highway at the exit to my town, as did the car behind me. Not really weird. I took the left turn off the main road down the street to our house. So did the car behind me, although now it was a little questionable. I pulled into the driveway of our house and turned the car off. The car behind me slowed down as it passed our driveway and then came to a stop. My heart started pumping so hard I could feel it in my chest. I picked up my phone, opened Snapchat, and checked the map. These 2 girls said they were right next to me on the map, right on top of my house. I closed my phone screen and felt like I was going to throw up. My dad was home, so if I could make it to the door and ring the bell 1,000,000 times, maybe I'd be okay. But no, that was too risky. Instead, I called the house phone. Luckily, my dad picked up right away. I screamed into the phone, begging him to come outside. I saw the car on the street backing up and approaching the driveway. At the same time, the front door opened and my dad came out and looked at the car in the street. The car drove off and then I ran through the rain to the house. My father hugged me and asked me who the men were. I pulled away from the hug when he said this. "Men?" I asked. "How do you know?" "And how many?" He replied that he saw at least 3 large men sitting in the car looking at him as it drove away. Last night I woke up to noises outside my window, like leaves crunching, garbage cans being moved, people whispering outside my window. I just knew it. I knew that the blinds were open. I didn't want to look. I was too scared to look at the window. Then I heard, "I know you're awake. Don't move a muscle." There, at the window, was my father. It was the scariest moment of my life. It sounded like my dad was hiding behind my bed. I heard footsteps outside, and my dad finally said it was safe. He watched as the car parked outside, the same one from the night before, drove away. My dad and I are afraid to go to sleep tonight. My dad said he's ready to call the police at the slightest sign of anything happening outside. If anything happens, I'll send an update.